Welcome back to our second session. I see that you came back. I hope you did your homework.
Yeah, I did.
You did your thinking?
Yeah, I did a lot of thinking.
Good. I'm glad you did because today we're going to be working on setting goals for you. How do you feel about goal setting?
I don't know. What would that be about exactly?
Goal setting? Well, goal setting is today we'll do 5 goals. We pick 5 main goals that you want to work on, and we'll determine how you want to attain these goals. Like, for example, someone who would be an alcoholic, they want to cut down their drinking, so we would find like a solution to that first goal on how they can cut down drinking.
Oh, okay.
And then the client would follow those steps and do the necessary measures that it takes to attain those goals. And as time goes on, there could be more goal setting and adjustment to the goals and adjustment to maintaining the goals. There's many different ways that a client can maintain a goal, and we can find the best way that'll suit you.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about setting goals?
Well, if I really do need to quit smoking weed, I think that it's a good idea if I set some goals for myself. It'll help me out in the future, that's for sure.
It really will. It really will help you out in the future. Okay, so for our first goal, how would you want to put your first goal? What would you want to use as your first goal? Like, would you want to reduce quitting smoking altogether? Do you want to continue? Or do you want to stop cold turkey? Like, that would be up to your discretion. I'll leave that up to you. And from there, we can work on you quitting, just putting it all down for good.
Well, I don't know if I can stop right away. Maybe I can do it gradually.
Gradually? Okay, so our first goal would be to gradually reduce marijuana until a client has stopped. So how can we get you to do that? Like, the first step, we can reduce it to, say, 4 times a week. Then in the next 2 weeks, we can reduce on you can smoke 3 times a week. Then in the following 2 weeks, you can go to twice a week. Then the following once a week for as long as you need to go for once a week until we can get you to stop.
Okay, but I mean, that sounds good and all, but what am I supposed to do in terms of my friendships? I mean, if I do obtain these goals, I think that I'm gonna just lose all my friends. How do you suggest I keep my friends while quitting
As
weed?
as with many addictions comes friends who are negative influences. I mean, by all means, these people can be good people, and what you can ask them nicely is you explain to them the situation that you need to quit marijuana because so on and so on. You don't even have to tell them that. You can just say, guys, listen, I've decided to quit marijuana. This is a choice that I've decided to make. You guys can either accept it or not accept it. I would really like to hang around you guys still. I really enjoy your company. So on and so on. You tell them all their strengths and whatever you need to do, and that'll be up to them. Like, if they don't want to accept you, then obviously they're not real friends. There's a difference between real friends and friends who are not your friends, such as this will determine if these people are actually real friends. If they're your real friends, they will not smoke in front of you when you have completely stopped smoking, or as you're reducing, because they should know, okay, she's reducing her limit, so maybe we shouldn't do it in front of her for craving purposes and so on and so on. You know, it's nice if you can hang around with them, but at the same time, it's also good to go out and develop new friendships also outside of that negative group that you had. If you want to keep them as acquaintances also, that's fine, but there's also other means of friends that you can get. For example, I remember in our last session we talked about you like joining a book club, for example, at school. well, okay, fine, you don't want to be known as a loser or whatever at school, but you're a smart person who will go places in life. Wouldn't you rather be known as a loser than someone who's a pothead? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from with that?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I don't think I'd ever want to be considered a loser.
No, no one wants to be considered a loser. It's just, people just have preconceived notions. Just because you're in a book club doesn't mean that you're a loser. Being in a book club also means that you're smart, because you're educating yourself, you're expanding horizons, such as your vocabulary. You know, you'd become a better writer. People who read, it's proven that they have a stronger vocabulary than someone who doesn't, and they can write way better than someone who can't, than someone who does read, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure if I did join the book club, it would look good on a resume as well as helping me with my future career as a teacher. I mean, even though it's going to be a music teacher, I'm still going to have to be pretty intelligent to be a teacher.
Exactly. Um, Speaking of that, you know, even though you don't want to join a book club at school, what about, I know a lot of schools offer peer tutoring. That would be good for you to join as you want to be a teacher. You can help kids out after school. It would get you away from negative influences who are smoking marijuana.
Yeah,
Would you rather, you can also resort to that too as another way rather than the book club. You know, you can teach kids how to, like, to do math or to do science or history or other things like that.
yeah, I guess I do have a few options, but I'm also just scared because I'm really shy and I just don't know if I'll be able to be open enough to do other activities without being high.
Have you ever tried it? Doing other activities while not being high?
Yeah, I have.
How did you feel?
Well, I felt very scared and very nervous and like I just couldn't interact with other people.
You couldn't interact with people. Okay, I have a question for you. When you're a teacher and you have to get up in front of 20, 30 kids, how are you going to do that without being high? Because it's obviously you can't go to school being under the influence of any type of drug.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I don't know. That's something that I will definitely need to work on. I guess that can be one of my goals.
Is to?
Well, is to be able to talk to other people without being high and talk to strangers and be able to make new friends with people that I don't know and to be able to talk in front of a large audience such as a classroom if I'm gonna be a teacher.
Yes, because that takes a lot of practice. It really does, and I think that's a great goal that you just chose. For a third goal, what do you think that could be? For a third goal, I have a suggestion that I would like you to think about. You don't have to take it, it's just a suggestion. What about finding a new peer group that have interests like you? Example, books, pursuing higher education.
Well, yeah, I guess I could do that, but I just don't want to be hated by my old friends either. I mean, I don't think they would understand if I decided to just leave them and go to another group.
You're not leaving them though. You're just leaving the habit, not them. And if they're addicted to their habit, then they have a problem. You're trying to get rid of the problem. The problem is the marijuana.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just feel as though I'm just going to be left as an outcast again once I do leave that group. Or if I do continue to hang out with them, they won't think I'm cool because I'll just be sitting there and not smoking weed like the rest of them.
You don't have to smoke weed to be cool. You don't have to do anything like that to be cool.